gentlemen, I am back for now, sort of. I may have to go back for some more of the polonium treatment, but Hollywood J. Williams is here, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there watching tonight. I'm joined, as usual, by Mr. John Zimmerman and the illustrious one, the real illustrious one.
The thunderous one.
The thunderous one. The real illustrious thunderous one. How's that?
Good evening.
Tom Dacey.
Good evening. Thunderous Tom Dacey. I got a lot to get to tonight. You guys went over to Queens, New York over the weekend.
Yes, we did. We'll start there?
Yeah,
why don't we start there? Because I got a lot
there.
of news to get to, and I don't want to, hinder upon you. So
my goodness. Dylan and I went out on behalf of the Squared Circle, and we got to meet the legendary, the #1 and only sellout Madison Square Garden several, 30 times in a row? He holds the record, I know that. Mr. Bruno Sammartino. We got a shot of that?
we can roll it whenever.
Bruno Sammartino,
Look
there
at
he
that.
is.
That's
Look
amazing.
at that.
There he is.
He
And
looks
notice
great.
the Hall of Fame ring on Mr. Sammartino's hand. My thumb is like pointing to it. Bruno was just a wonderful guy, and when I asked him if he enjoyed the Squared Circle, he said he really enjoys the Squared Circle. So that's an endorsement for the show right there. And
Couldn't ask for a better endorsement than that.
the #1 guy, I mean, he's like the Babe Ruth. What Babe Ruth is to baseball, Mr. Bruno Sammartino is to wrestling. And he was just a wonderful guy to meet. And Dylan and I were very fortunate to have spent some time with him. Not only was he there, but Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Hulk Hogan, Chris Jericho, Mick Foley, Haku, Dangerous Danny Davis, George the Animal Steel, Victoria, Tara, whatever she wants to go by now, Deborah, the former Mrs. Steve Austin, Bobby Heenan, God bless him. He looks terrible, but he was there. Bobby Heenan was there. Axe and Smash at Demolition.
Devon, too, right?
Rob Terry, Devon, yeah, Devon, friend of the show, of course. Missing somebody else. Stevie Richards, who was just at PWA about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. My goodness, I know I'm forgetting somebody. Howard Finkel was there. Sergeant Slaughter, of course. Hall, Nash, X-Pac, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Playboy Buddy Rogers. It was just packed, and I know I'm leaving somebody out, but it was just a huge...
How's Scott Hall looking nowadays?
You actually look very good. Oh, speaking of Scott Hall, Diamond Dallas Page is there as well. Scott Hall is looking great. It was just a great event. Mainly, though, I was there to see Bruno. It was a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me. He's 78 years old. And,
how many more signings is he really going to do?
Exactly. And it was just a pleasure. We were like right up front in the line to meet him. We were like 4th or 5th. So we got.
But describe the atmosphere. Was there a huge turnout for this event?
Yeah, it was at a convention center right near Citi Field, like maybe like 5 minutes away from Citi Field in Queens, Flushing, right there, and it was packed. We were smart enough to get there early and get our spot in line, and it was just amazing. A lot more hoopla for Jericho than there was really for Bruno Sammartino. I think the younger generation more in tune with Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho came in and he looked great too. He was rocking the shades, and he was really the superstar that he is. He was more of the rock star of the whole event.
Mick Foley, Terry Funk.
Oh yeah, Terry Funk.
Seen somebody with a picture of Terry Funk today.
Terry Funk was there, doing his thing. But it was just fantastic, and I was glad I got to see Bobby Heenan, and wish him well and God bless him. And it was just great. It was just a lot of fun, and there's pictures up on our Facebook page, and I plan to put up more soon. It's just time is really
put as many on there as you can as soon as you can.
Yeah.
You're busy working in our offices.
Oh yeah.
constantly.
Yeah. Oh, Ted DiBiase. There's a picture on our page right now of Sergeant Slaughter and Ted DiBiase
I did
together.
see DiBiase.
Yep.
Are they planning?
Oh, Maurice.
Are they planning any more of these events at all?
I will keep you posted, but I think this was like the big blow off for the year. Maurice was looking really hot. I think the next event would be the New England Fan Fest coming up.
That'll be over the summer.
Yeah, in the summertime.
That I plan to be in attendance.
Oh, D'Lo Brown was there as well. He looked great. He was standing next to Danny Davis, and it was like everywhere you turned. You know, there was one main room, and there was like 4 smaller rooms adjacent to them.
Yeah.
And like I said, everywhere you turn, there was another superstar. I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah. I was planning to attend, but the RWE event, which never happened.
Right.
We have no idea why, but
Unforeseen circumstances.
Unforeseen circumstances. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to get there early, but you know.
Yeah. Well, we will keep you posted on the RWE situation. As far as we know, there's no RWE until after the New Year.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Craig's gonna give people, you know, the chance to enjoy the holidays.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know, not only that. I mean, the workers, you know, spend time with their families and give us a break on a budget, because you know, I know you guys got some Christmas shopping to do.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
My nephew down in Virginia, of course, you know, big wrestling fan. Maybe get him back to Connecticut. And when I go to retire, bring him in. You know,
have a vacant chair, right?
Well, I'm just hoping I have my present by Christmas.
Yeah.
My new chair, if it ever comes in.
Yeah. Well.
I hear this thing is great. This new chair.
I don't know. I think the Aces and Eights are trying to sabotage it. I think.
Yeah, we'll talk about Aces and Eights later.
A little later on.
A little later on in the broadcast. But you said Hulk Hogan was there.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan right now, as of this moment, claims to be done with TNA wrestling, and he would like to return to the WWE by WrestleMania 30. And there's a lot of theories as to how.
Do you think they'll wait that long though? Do you think they really want to wait that long?
Well, I mean, he's looking at the long range WrestleMania 30. I mean, he probably would like to be in by next week, I'm sure. It's you know, a matter of the writers have to, you know, figure out what they're going to do. The big theory of mine is with this whole Big Show angle, the lawsuit. But now apparently they dropped the lawsuit though. So I don't. My thought was. He comes back as the chief operating officer somehow.
To battle Triple H.
To battle, you know, not that he'd wrestle Triple H. Maybe they'd have people that they'd be endorsing, wrestling one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can do like a Survivor Series where you have Team Hogan and Team Triple H, something like that. Mm-hmm. Or even a WrestleMania, you can have, you know, somebody representing
both, each
of them.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I said it before on the show. Hulk Hogan will be back in WWE, you know, within the next year.
Was asked by the Associated Press, I believe, if he could still wrestle. He said he said he probably could if it was the right guys. Is quoting him, right venue, right payday. So everything's got to be just right because he's Hulk Hogan, you know, and he's the star, and you know. Maybe he does need the money with all these awards.
Money talks?
Yeah, money talks, and he can barely walk.
So if everything goes right, he'll Hulk up again. For now, he'd just like to attend an event with his new wife Jennifer. She's never been to a WWE live event.
Soon to be.
Remember, eat your vitamins and say your prayers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, brother. That's it. So that's the latest on Hulk Hogan right now. Anything more, we'll keep you up to date. WWE right now is in Europe, and tonight is going to be, I believe, Manchester, England for Raw.
Yeah. There are spoilers out there, but I won't spoil it for you.
Nah, we won't spoil anything. We know over the weekend at Sunday shows in Glasgow, England, and Cardiff, Wales, respectively. And that's all that led up to tonight's taping of Raw in Manchester. John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio was featured, along with an angle between CM Punk and Paul Heyman. That was also advertised. Main event for Cardiff, Randy Orton versus Big Show. Daniel Bryan was still listed, but he's been teaming with CM Punk on the tour, probably battling the Wyatt family.
We're here.
There. I know we're here. We're here at NHTV.
Yep.
And makes me wonder about the Wyatts. The devil's making them do it.
Maybe. It's a possibility.
Who's the devil? What devil?
That remains to be seen. Maybe Kane. Undertaker. Come back from hell.
Undertaker. There's a thought.
Triple H.
I don't know. I can't see that.
They're not gonna do another Vince.
Yeah, maybe Shane O'Mac. We haven't seen Shane O'Mac in a while. Do you fellas happen to catch Total Divas this week?
I've got it in my DVR. I haven't watched it yet.
The return of Total Divas. I think that WWE is going to have a new sponsor in Depends, because
Depends.
Yeah, Natalia got kicked in the gut by Trinity, and she had a little accident, shall we say? So I think she might need.
I don't really want to think about that.
You got to see Total Divas this week. You know,
it's going to spoil my appetite. I got reservations over here at the Outback later on.
Right.
You know, I mean, plan to eat a nice big
let's put it this way: you're in luck that you didn't see it.
I still have to watch it, so.
Get it? You're in luck.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now. So, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan taking on Wyatt has been featured in this European tour so far. But, you know, it's just, who else is the Wyatt's going to end up picking on? I mean, if the devil ends up being Triple H, that could be a way to have the Wyatts versus the Shield for WrestleMania.
Well, we'll leave that prediction to you. That'll be Hollywood.
They're not going to relive that angle with Vince, are they, when Stephanie was supposedly kidnapped?
Oh, with the Ministry of Darkness?
Yeah.
They're
not going to...
That could happen.
I hope not.
Bring that back. And
how would they do it? I mean, the Wyatts are going to kidnap Stephanie? I don't understand.
Hang her up on a cross and Undertaker can come out and light her on fire?
Undertaker, I mean, he's, you know, I don't think he can really work too much anymore. I think he just sticks to WrestleMania. And, you know. Mm-hmm. He's up there in years.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll bring Kane into it now since he surrendered his mask to Stephanie.
And he's got the corporate look now.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of look for. That's a different kind of look for Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's back to being Glenn Jacobs. So the other guy must be gone. So now he's got the mask off. Now it's Glenn Jacobs again.
Yeah. Well,
what happened to Glenn Jacobs' political career?
He lost. He tanked it. I believe he pulled out of the race because he wasn't getting enough support. But we'll see. Hopefully, Mr. Jesse Ventura does better than Glenn Jacobs did.
Mr. Jesse Ventura for president.
Absolutely. We'll have to get him on the show.
We'll have to get him. And Howard Stern as his running mate?
Absolutely. I love it.
What are the political views of Howard Stern? I mean, I don't really. He must have some bizarre. I mean, I always enjoyed him. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't know. It should be interesting.
Should be interesting, but anyway, for those interested, and I have friends over in Europe. Cardiff, Wales, Glasgow was over the weekend. Recapping again, Raw taping Manchester tomorrow. SmackDown taping again in Manchester. Newcastle, UK. They're up to Nottingham. They're going to Zurich, Switzerland. Neutral ground, November 13th.
Yeah.
November 14th, there are Leeds. Rouen, France. It's kind of a strange name for a city. Back in London and Marseille on the 15th. Rounding it out, Vienna, Austria, and Minehead, UK. They seem to focus more on England than any other country.
That's the only place they can get TV rights.
The only other place they can get TV rights. And the only place that speaks English.
Not necessarily. But you know, they do have the Spanish announcer, so I'm sure they can put different people at the desk worldwide. And, you know.
I remember the time they had Raw in Italy. I don't know if you recall that or not.
Santino came out of the crowd.
And that was the debut of
the
Santino
debut
Marella.
of Santino Marella, correct. The Canadian, by the way.
Not from Italy.
Not to break kayfabe, right.
Right. Interesting. Well, it's nice to get over there once in a while. Moving on along, NXT developmental star Cassius Ohno, otherwise known as Chris Hero in the indie scene, is gone. Did anybody have any information on that?
Nope.
Oh, I did see a post about it, but I can't recall.
No,
I don't want to say off the top of my head. But I did see a post on that.
You did see a post on that?
Yeah, oh, goodness me.
Goodness you.
I'm sorry, my memory is not serving me right now.
How many fingers am I holding up right now?
I'll give you one.
Hey now.
Hey now. No, we're going to have to follow up on that. We'll put it
are they losing out over this
I'll
guy,
copy
though?
the poster on our webpage.
I hear some good things about him.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'll find that post and I'll copy it over to our page. Give you the update. Sorry, I don't have it right in front of me.
It's okay, but Cassius Ohno.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I wonder if he knows Yoko.
I was just going to ask if he knows Yoko or related to Yoko.
Sean Lennon Ohno.
Could be. I don't know.
It's spelled differently.
I don't know about Ohno.
You don't know about Ohno. Yeah, it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
That's a no-no.
Isn't the guy that does not Minute to Win It? Apollo Ohno, right? Is that Minute to Win It? I wonder if it's the same family. I don't know.
Chris Hero. That's the name he used in the independent scene. So maybe this is this Triple H sending a message to the independent scene that we don't want you guys. We only want to create our own stars.
It's going to take them a lot longer to create from scratch stars, and they're going to have to recruit basically right out of high school if they want to make them, you know, and mold them in their own image. You know, I think taking some of the guys that are already there and that have established, you know, and then just, I don't want to say retrain, but you know, train them in the WWE way of doing things.
Right.
You know, sometimes it's hard once you're into a habit of, you know, a certain way of doing things to change that. So that might be what's going on with this Chris Hero, that, you know, he's been on the independent scene for a while and he's got his own style and maybe he can't just adapt or change that as rapidly.
Maybe he just doesn't want to.
That's possible.
It really is a shame because, as we say, there is some great talent in the indies.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, and
that really do deserve a shot.
Right. I hope that, you know, the failure of one or two guys doesn't sour Vince and the WWE on all the independent scenes. You know, because the actions of a few shouldn't penalize.
It's just going back to what
else.
Triple H said a few months ago, and that's what worries me the most, is all these guys, they bust their rear ends out there at these boys and girls clubs, and we see quite a bit of them.
Yeah.
And we've had quite a bit of them on this show, and we'll continue to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate that none of them, you know, is that really his attitude? Is that, or did he just say it? You know, I sincerely hope that, you know, and there's a nationwide pool, a worldwide pool of indie wrestlers.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know, there's so many to choose from.
Well, I mean, he's only got to look in his own company. You know, I mean, William Regal, right, who's one of the top dogs in WWE now, was an independent fighter. You know, Cesario. I mean, you know, you can go down the whole roster, and they all started on the independent scene. You know, once the territories, you know, folded up and Vince bought them all, you know, from the 90s till now, that's where these guys came from. You know, they had very few wrestling schools to go to, and you know, you had Ohio Valley, you know, and you had Florida Championship.
You got a good worker. Let's talk TNA for a second. Christopher Daniels, and he's about 45 years old already. Yeah, he's not anybody I don't think the WWE would be interested in just because of his age, but all that time before TNA even got founded, he was on the indie scene.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So he spent about half of his career there.
So I mean, you look at the talent that came from the indie scene, and it's you know, it stands for itself. CM Punk, yeah, absolutely. You know, and these guys started out the Hardys started out in their backyard, for goodness sake.
Yep.
You know, and are you going to turn down all that talent? You know, with this mentality of, you know, we only want the people that come from our own system. You know, you can't do that. Baseball can't do it. Football can't do it. You know, they recruit from all over. You know, baseball recruits from all over the world. And, you know, the Yankees aren't just hiring from their own system.
No.
You know, they're trading. They're looking all over the world at the best talent, and that's the way to get the best people.
They better be digging some up for next year.
So, you know, I think it's very closed-minded to ignore you know, the independent scene.
Exactly.
Our opinion. My opinion.
It's not what's best for business. You're much better off taking somebody that has a little experience, even if it's not WWE experience. You know,
yeah.
You always tell them this is how our company operates.
Right, and you know, I think if you're upfront with somebody going in, and you can explain that, you know, this is, hey, we're hiring you for a job, you know, and this is what we want you to do, and this is how we want you to do it. You know, it should work. You know, and only if the person, you know, the talent themselves can't get into that mindset and can't get into that form, then, you know, that's where the problem would lie. But that's, you know, on an individual basis. I think, you know, condemning a whole industry, you know, the independent scene, based on the actions of a few people is just ignorant.
It's like if you go to Wendy's, they cook your hamburger a certain way.
Right.
If you go to McDonald's, they have a different method of cooking the burger, mass producing.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And if you go from working at McDonald's to Wendy's, you have to adapt to the way they do things.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. And it would be, just, you know, it would be, you know, short-sighted on one company's not to hire, you know, with somebody with experience in the other company. It just doesn't make any sense. But
as we say, support the indies.
Yes, absolutely.
Support
the independent scene will always be there. Will always be there. Like garage bands will always be there. You know, you're always going to go down to your local pub and see, you know, the local bands.
Exactly.
You know, it will. You know.
Even though it might get expensive with some bars at times,
but
you know,
it will thrive.
There'll always be a market for it.
So.
Now, our good friend Joseph von Schmidt just had an event where in New Hampshire.
Yes, Laconia. Yeah, and Lucifer Lords fought Tommy Mack. I believe Tommy Mack, that was his hometown, and Tommy Mack won in his hometown, which is great. And hopefully to get an update on the entire card. But yeah, PWA naturally coming back to Connecticut December 7th, and the PWA youth program are going to be in the ring. And hopefully between now and then they'll have a match set up. We're really pushing for it. They're really working hard. We were there today again, as we always are, Monday and Wednesday, down at 33 Chestnut Street in New Haven,
very proud of
Connecticut.
you guys.
And you saw the footage last week. You saw some of the students on here the week before. And we'll keep you updated on PWA, the youth program, the adult program. Get down there, get in the ring, become an in-ring talent. You can become an announcer. You can become a referee. Joseph von Schmidt may even teach you how to write some of these shows. It's great stuff. Great
and of
stuff.
course, the Squared Circle will be in attendance on December 7th.
Oh, without a doubt. One of our own is going to be in the ring.
One of our own. We'll be in attendance there. That is the same night. There is an NAFW Nutcrackers Brawl 2.
Yep.
Chicopee, Mass. So, I mean, if you're watching this and you're closer to that and you'd like to attend that, I mean, it's a tough decision to make.
Well, for me, it's a no-brainer. I have to go to PWA.
For us, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to NAFW.
Oh, no, yeah. You know. Hey, if NAFW wants to put my son in the ring, I'll be at that event too.
Sooner or later, I hope to have a big enough camera crew where we can, if there's multiple shows on one night, we can be able to cover everything at the same time. Just to give back to the viewers and to show the viewers, to keep reiterating it all the time how great these indies are.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, we've got a shoot coming up
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fill you in yet. We got a shoot coming up on Saturday at the Guilford CrossFit, not too far from here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a shoot out there. We're still waiting on the footage. We're working on the footage from Ultimate MMA. Andrew Calandrelli, a friend of the show.
I did look at it. I'm
Yep.
trying to put it together as we speak. It looks great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing a lot, you know, not just in the wrestling business, but in the fitness business, in the MMA business. We're branching out.
We're branching out.
Yeah.
I even went to a speech yesterday at the wall, the Veterans Wall,
Yep.
in Hamden.
Yeah, we got some footage from
With
there too.
Dick Blumenthal.
With Mr. Dick Blumenthal.
Do you like Dick Blumenthal?
I like Blumenthal.
Okay, just checking.
I like Blumenthal. He's a great senator.
I'm required to like Blumenthal.
You're required to?
Yeah.
And of course,
Mm-hmm.
he was in the race versus Linda.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I did vote for Linda.
I voted for Blumenthal.
Oh, see, you canceled me out.
Yeah.
Canceled me out, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to actually start a page called Wrestling Fans for Blumenthal.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
I'll admit it.
Well, we sit divided.
We sit divided on that one, but that was several years ago. But a good friend of mine has his name etched in stone from now on. We're in an elite group together called the IC, and we're a band of brothers. We all look out for each other. We all hang out on the weekends, and it's kind of like the Horseman was, you know.
Yeah.
And he got his name immortalized in the plaque at the Veterans Wall at the Hamden Middle School, and God bless him. And you know, it was a great ceremony, and you know,
The
showed
Thunderous one was supposed to be there, but unfortunately,
right.
The Thunder wasn't happening that day.
kind of slipped my mind.
You were out. You were out partying with the ladies.
Yeah.
The night
Saturday
before. Yeah.
You mentioned it's a great thing, Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate all the veterans. My dad,
Yeah.
God rest his soul,
My dad, too.
gave his
My
life.
dad, God rest his soul.
Yeah, gave his life to military service. My uncle, 27-year Navy man, retired. You know, he was a recruiter. He's seen all over the world, and you know, it's a great thing. It's a good thing for the service people.
We just want to thank all the veterans out there today
Definitely.
that
Absolutely.
protect us every day.
Yes.
Exactly. Give a round of applause.
You know,
My dad was 4 years in the Navy. He was the commander of the Disabled American Veterans down in LaBelle, Florida.
yeah.
Very, very active in, you know, things
Yeah.
for veterans.
Yeah, my mom was a big advocate for the DAV, Americans with Disabilities. My dad was in a wheelchair since I was 8 years old, and he was struck by Agent Orange, neurological disease, and my mom was an advocate. And not only did she help my dad and his cause, but she helped a lot of the people up the Veterans Administration here in West Haven get the benefits they deserved. And you know, at that time, we're talking like 20-something years ago, there wasn't a patient advocate, and my mom basically created the position of patient advocate herself, and went out there, helped my dad, and shared the information, and went out there and advocated for other patients to get them the benefits that they deserved and the benefits they needed. And
They need it.
God bless my mom, and God bless my dad.
I just got a phone call the other day, and it was my pleasure to give back to these people that defend our country. I made my donation to Disabled American Veterans the other day. They called me up, and I urge everybody, if you get the phone call, please give back.
Exactly. They defend us on a day-to-day basis out there. Of all the things.
Right,
you know.
and not only the DAV, but the Wounded Warrior Program is helping out veterans. And you know, if you own a business, hire a veteran. You know, they need jobs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. A lot of them are coming back from serving our country, and they can't get jobs.
Yeah. You know, and their benefits are getting cut, as we see. Their health care is getting cut. The VA went from 2 buildings over there in West Haven down to like now just 2 floors of one building because Yale basically bought it out and took it over, and the benefits, the veterans' benefits are being cut all over. So anything you can do to help these guys, you know, men and women out, would be greatly appreciated.
Even if you see a veteran, just go up to them and shake their hand and thank them for their service.
Absolutely.
Thank them for their service.
Give them a hug. I mean, a lot of the restaurants today were giving free lunches to the veterans today.
Yeah, there is such thing as a free lunch.
IHOP used to, I think still does, always does that.
Yeah.
Applebee's in Hamden used to, when they were...
Outback is, Outback year-round 10% off with your military ID. WWE, as a matter of fact, if you show your military ID, you get into WWE events for free. So, you know, Yankee Stadium, I must say that I know that they offer free tickets for the veterans. They don't give you the greatest seat, but you still get to see. And Citi Field as well. If you go to Citi Field to show your active duty veteran, they'll give you a free seat.
Yeah, that's one thing I got to compliment the WWE on, and all the things they do for the troops year-round. You know, the holiday special they have, just, you know, getting on a plane and going out there and putting themselves in harm's way.
Yeah.
You know, that's, you know, something I never thought I would see from wrestling at all.
Yeah.
And they do it, and they continue to do it, and they will.
Every year.
Yeah, a friend of mine was in Iraq a few years ago, and he's got pictures from when WWE came onto the base, and he was like, you know, the WWE came out and met everybody and spent a huge amount of time, you know, off camera with, you know, the soldiers, and he said it was a great event. He's, you know, got pictures of himself with a lot of the WWE stars, and it's a piece of home, you know, while you're away. So you kind of miss those things.
I did notice last week on Raw they're still wearing the pink.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do tonight for the veterans, as you mentioned earlier.
I'm curious to see what they do for the veterans tonight.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I wonder if they're going to mention anything about the big typhoon over in the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's you know, not to get off wrestling, but that was very, very devastating. You know, I know several Filipino people and Facebook friends with this one woman who used to be a radio announcer out there, and she says her family's okay. And I got another friend of mine that, you know, was on there worrying about her loved ones and relatives over there. So I mean, if you take that typhoon, they claim if you take that and you put it into the Atlantic Ocean, it would have affected from New York City all the way down to Florida at the same time.
Wow.
I don't know about that, if they might be exaggerated, but
well, I mean,
still...
we've seen our share. I mean, we've had the hurricane, we had, you know, the devastating snowstorm.
And I mean, from what I heard this morning, they said the poor people that thought they were going to shelters and were going to be safe, those places were wiped out too.
Yeah, it's getting to be like a monthly thing. You know, there's something going on, devastating, more and more. It just seems like. But,
so,
you know, our best wishes to the people in the Philippines and also Vietnam. I believe it hit this morning. So it's just crazy.
Hopefully there won't be a storm of that magnitude again in our lifetime. You know, or anybody's lifetime.
Yeah. Well, since we're doing the news, let's do the financial report too. The financial report is that WWE stock recently jumped up another 13 cents.
Because of the video game, possibly?
I believe it's because of the video game being released. It's flying off the shelves, and the numbers will be out soon as far as the video game sales. But the stock price has been rising and rising, and as a result.
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, I have some things to get to. I have well, we have a little bit of a differing opinion on this one, but I just wonder about what I think is somebody taking a lot of their stock, good portion of it, and selling it off. And this person has a maiden name of McMahon. I think you could probably guess. So this person is going to me, get, now this is a segment that I want to try to implement. Worst of the week. I'll downgrade her to the bronze status, which would be the number 3. I was going to say number 2, but we'll do a number 3. Stephanie McMahon sold another 35,000 plus shares of Class A common WWE stock on Wednesday past week through her trust, the Stephanie McMahon Levesque Trust, U/A, Vincent K. McMahon. This is according to an SEC filing on Friday. The sell-off began on Friday, November 1st, after WWE's stock price hit a 2.5-year high on Thursday, October 31st. After 4 consecutive days of transactions, McMahon's total business was 140,000 shares sold and gross proceeds of $1,817,065 based on, here's the breakdown, don't fall asleep on me, people. Friday, November 1st, 55,730 shares sold at $13.14 for, this is $732,292 in gross proceeds. Wake up. This is math class now. November 4th.
Economics.
The following Monday, 20,843 shares sold at $12.99 for $270,750 in gross proceeds. November 5th, the next day, 27,563 shares sold at $12.93 for $356,389 in gross proceeds. The following day, on Wednesday, 35,864 shares sold at $12.76 for $457,624 in gross proceeds. Stephanie now owns 280,000 shares of common stock after the sell-off. Triple H owns 51,945 separate shares. This is according to the SEC filing. The New York Post reported last month that Stephanie's recent stock transactions are to finance the purchase of a new home. I'm going to sell off my shares of the company, and somebody else will possibly take over my role in the company. I'll be left out because, honey, I think we should move. We need a bigger place. This mansion just isn't big enough anymore. So I'm going to, you know, it's kind of like killing the McMahon legacy to an extent. That's the way I feel about it.
I think the Squared Circle should buy some stock.
We already own it. I do.
You do?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Part owner of the WWE.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't share my financial portfolio with everybody.
Yeah.
We know somebody that's got stock in McDonald's, right?
I don't have stock in McDonald's, and I never used to work at McDonald's.
I didn't say that.
And I don't work in a warehouse.
I thought you were Ronald's son.
Warehouse. Oh, warehouse.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
I thought he was Ronald's son.
Oh, he is kind of a clown.
So that's my take on that. That's the bronze.
I know you're upset.
Three.
You know, the thing of it is, like you said, it's at a 2-year high stock price. That's why you own stock. You own stock, it goes up, you sell it, you make money. The last dividends, they were paying 4% in dividends. So I'm sure over the course of history, she made quite a bit on this, on her own company. And maybe she knows something that we don't, to be selling it off like that. But again, like I said, as you stated, it was at a 2-year high, and it's great money for her. And at some point, as like the market does, the market will drop, and she can buy it back.
Hopefully.
You know, with the profit. You know, with the profit. And of course, the McMahon family overall isn't going to sell, you know, all this enough stock to put themselves out of control of the company.
Heck no.
So they're not, you know, dumb enough to do that. You know, so
it's just a legacy thing to me. I mean, money isn't everything in this world. You can make the money.
Well, I mean,
You're a McMahon already.
You know, they got.
Is there any word on how much Shane still has?
I have absolutely no idea. Nothing I researched even mentioned him at all.
Stephanie and Hunter have 3 growing daughters. They're going to have a house of their own. You know, and maybe they're making a legacy for their own family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe that's best for their family. Maybe not best for business, but best for their own family. You know?
So last you knew, they were all living together.
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
like
the girls aren't old enough to be on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I'm talking to Vince and Linda and Stephanie and Triple H all living under one roof.
No. Vince and Linda have their own home, and Triple H and Stephanie have their own home with their daughters.
They probably just want a bigger one, you know, since they got the 3 girls.
Or an additional one, right.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
It's the McMahons.
Hey, you know, you need a
house. The
house.
world needs them. I guess.
But, hey, you know what? It's business, and, you know.
It's what's best for business.
It's what's best for business.
It's what's best for business, and that's what they always say.
You know, stock goes up. She probably she probably inherited the stock when they went public. So she paid little to nothing for it when it opened as, you know, on the market. Hey, you know, it's pure profit.
It's an interesting math lesson for everyone.
Pure profit.
We don't normally talk numbers here.
Right. You know, it's a simple equation. Buy low, sell high.
That's but we're gonna go to the runner-up here. This might be a double whammy for her. Dixie Carter, the TNA president.
Oh God.
Advertising websites, whatever, on Impact. A former champion returning to Impact Wrestling. Getting everybody all excited and hyped up, and oh my, well, who could this be? Former champion returning. Is Jeff Jarrett coming back?
It's a possibility.
Is Kevin Nash coming back?
No.
Who is it?
Kevin Nash, I believe, has a Legends contract with WWE, so that would
that would probably, yeah.
That would prevent him from going.
But you know who it ends up being? Somebody would never actually think. Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Wow.
Pac-Man Jones, the NFL football player.
Right.
Pac-Man Jones, a former co-holder of the TNA Tag Team title with Ron Killings, R-Truth.
R-Truth, yeah. Yeah, well, maybe she's got Pac-Man fever. I don't know.
Really, Dixie?
Really, Dixie? Pac-Man, I mean, she's got her nephew in there.
EC3.
Right.
EC3.
Right. But do we really need to talk?
He's had some tough matches. I mean, some of those guys, I mean.
Oh, goodness. Do we really need to talk TNA?
Yeah, we really do.
The thing that we really need to see is the sale of TNA.
I mean, they had my hopes up last week when I thought Aces and Eights was gone.
Yeah.
Then I just got punched right in the gut.
And that brings me to our winner.
Yes.
Bully Ray, Taz, Mike Knox, and Garrett Bischoff. Mike Knox. Well, he used to be Knox. Knox. Whatever.
Whichever. Stop
and we thought.
I was praying. I was cheering.
We thought it was over. We really thought it was over. I mean, the Main Event Mafia came to an end. We just assumed that Aces and Eights was going to come to an end. Because of the way Bully Ray has been, you know, talking down to his people, Garrett Bischoff and, you know, Mike Knox, using these people for his own agenda, and it looked like Taz was seeing it, and, you know, and even Taz took off his colors, and he's like, you know, I'm out too. So it looked like it was a 3-1 vote to end the club altogether, and Ken Anderson comes out, and that's when that's when we found out we were duped yet again by this fictitious motorcycle gang you know, it was bad enough they attempted to do what I did back in 1996, you know, make a North Haven chapter of the Aces and Eights, and I still don't know. I think it was probably the Ultimores. It was one and the same, to be honest. And Ken Anderson comes out. Now I don't know how they're getting away with using the name Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's pretty.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
That I kind of found interesting myself.
Here is the quote from Bully Ray. Now, Mr. Ken Anderson, you say you respect Stone Cold Steve Austin so much, yet you don't even act like him because you're forgetting the first rule. Don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
And that's when Nux and Garrett came and attacked Anderson from behind, threw him into the ring, and Taz puts back on the Kellers, and here we are, 4-on-1 assault. What's left of the Aces and Eights taking out Mr. Anderson.
Well, Aces and Eights will see its demise once.
I should have realized, you know, because you know what they say, what happens when you assume.
Yes.
Yes.
We won't go
there. We can't repeat that on the air now, Thomas.
I should have realized.
Yep. Yep. But, you know, Aces and Eights will be over as soon as the company is sold and they get a real writing staff in there.
A real writing staff.
Yeah.
Because the writing staff they have right now is just clinging on to whatever's left of this weak angle and trying to bring it back up to, you know, what? They only have 4 people. When you have 4 members of an organization, it's time to cease and desist.
Yeah.
It's
no longer a gang.
Yeah.
A major supergroup. I mean, the Horsemen went down to 3 at one point. I mean, you know, the Horsemen were the Horsemen. It was, you know, there was the NWO had like 30 people in at one point.
At some point,
but even when they went down to about 3 or 4 people, they had brains enough to disband. The writers just wrote it out. Okay, they're gone tonight. That's it, and that was it. We didn't have to be bothered seeing the group of Hogan, Hall, Nash, and X6 and 7 and 15 and whatever. I don't even remember how many. Conan.
Right.
So the writing staff at TNA and Aces and Eights for playing along with it. This thing's worst thing of the wrestling week. Thank you.
There you go.
I don't have any papers to throw, but we don't have the organ in the background either.
Well,
we have to get on that.
Well, before we run out of time, you want to make the announcement for next week's guest? We teased it on the
yes, we have
Facebook
a
page.
big announcement for next week. Our guest next week will be none other than the Squared Circle's good friend, Mario Mancini.
Mario is gracing our presence yet again.
Absolutely. And, you know, the guy, there he is, in all his former glory. And, you know, we just love the guy to death. Mario is such a great fan of the show, great friend of the show. You know, there he is in the WWF days. And I believe I have one more shot. This fella flew all the way in from Japan to meet Mario Mancini.
Now that's an honor.
You know, and yeah, Mario couldn't get over it. You know, this guy came in, and of the New England Fan Fest, that's the guy he wanted to see. There was like 100 different wrestlers there, and the guy flew all the way in specifically to meet Mr. Mario Mancini. And the guy couldn't have been more excited. As you heard Mario tell the story on the show, that you know, he was just honored to meet the guy. And Mario happens to be wearing the CrossFit shirt. That's the gym we're going to go to Saturday and get some footage there as well.
And we'll be showing that the following week, next week.
Hopefully, once our crack staff gets on it, we'll have some
all
footage.
these technical difficulties, I don't know with this.
Well, Jay had to go run an errand for me last night.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
We're in our infancy with some of the stuff we're doing, but we're definitely moving up in the world. We're using professional footage, and you know, we're using
it's
professional.
Like it's kind of like how Vince McMahon started.
Yeah, yeah. You know, hey, we've been at it a year. You know, we're branching out. We're getting bigger. You know, we're having we had an exclusive with Devon. You know, former TNA and WWE star. We got an exclusive with Mario Mancini.
We're getting another exclusive with Mario Mancini.
Exactly.
Well, you can't get too many of those.
You know, and we had an exclusive with the Bellator fighter Andrew Calandrelli. We've got footage from his facility. We got some fighting in the cage that we're going to be showing coming up soon.
Footage looks great. I just got to get it together.
So, you know, we're
you
always...
did a great job, and
Thank you,
of course, Aubrey was on site.
Of course, yeah. Aubrey now is a regular
Squared
guest.
Circle contributor, Aubrey St. John.
Absolutely.
I have officially given her a commendation of promotion.
There we are, and she shares the award with us.
That's right.
You know, which you failed to mention at the beginning of the show, by the way. We always open up with the award-winning.
The award-winning.
As Nick has it on the screen, usually.
The award-winning
Squared Circle. And we're living up to
there
that
you go.
name. There we are.
Award-winning
And we're living up to
Squared
that name every day. You know, we're branching out. We're doing different things. Like I said, we're not only in the wrestling business, we're in the MMA business, we're in the fitness business. As of Saturday, we'll be at the CrossFit. And if you've got a sports-related entertainment business, give us a shout.
Definitely.
Contact us, and we'll come out and...
or anything, for that matter.
Yeah.
You know,
why not?
We're open.
We're willing and open. We've invested in our equipment. We've got professional videographer. We've got professional equipment. We got professional editing bays, and we're ready to rock. So, Mr. Tom Dacey being our benefactor, it's an adventure, and we're out there. We're out there, and we're hustling. And
we continue to provide.
That's right.
For our viewers.
We don't use that.
We will provide.
No cell phone footage.
No
excellence in video production.
So the reason we haven't gotten that footage is that we're going to do it once, and we're going to do it right. We're not going to show you an unfinished product.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
some other people use other devices.
We want the high quality footage.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that might be okay with them.
Hey.
You know.
Other shows do what they want to do. We do our show, and I think we do it. We do it great.
We do it great. You know, it's a service to the promoters. It's a service to the fans.
Yes.
You know, we don't do it for ourselves.
No.
Nope. But before we end, if I can do a shameless plug.
Absolutely.
Do a shameless plug.
This Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Talking with Tom with my co-host Ed McCarver.
Yep.
We have a very special guest in studio with us this Wednesday. Former guest of the Squared Circle from RWE, Miss Jenny B. Lovefield.
Oh, the incomparable.
Will be with us. The lovely Jenny B. Lovefield.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have to tune in for that. And that's live at 7 p.m. on Wednesday evening.
And if you go to the Squared Circle page, you can see a photo of Jenny holding up our award. She shared it with us that evening.
That's it.
Was gracious enough to pose with it. And I'm jealous because I had such a great time when she was on. And I watch that when I'm alone at night.
And
hey now.
And from what I understand, she's going to have a major announcement.
Yeah.
On Talking with Tom on Wednesday.
It is.
A real major
announcement. So you have to stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Not like a soap opera announcement.
Right.
No.
Right.
Provided by others.
Major announcement.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
A major.
Is it yours?
Huh?
No. Never mind. Never mind. Wasn't you?
No,
Are
wasn't
you creating an RWA Women's Championship and presenting it to her?
No.
No, you would have to earn that. You wouldn't just be presented with the title.
Of course.
Rousey fought and won it.
Dana White gave it to her at the press conference.
Rousey fought and won that.
We
know.
All right, children. Survivor Series is coming up. I want to just touch on this real quick. There are only 2 matches signed. Are the WWE title match between Randy Orton and The Big Show, and the world title match between John Cena and Alberto Del Rio. Anybody have any predictions?
I don't see Big Show getting the title. They'll drag that out some more.
Yeah, they'll drag that out.
There'll be some shenanigans or
McManigans.
McManigans.
Copyright Tom Dacey.
I'll have to agree with that. I still think that Daniel Bryan needs the WWE title.
Yeah.
The fans need for him at this point to have that belt.
Absolutely.
You know, there's no sense dragging this out any longer.
Yeah, but you know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So sick of all the same.
Yeah, but
Orton, Cena.
Yeah, I will predict that
Rock.
Daniel Bryan will not get the title anytime soon because more than likely he'll have an injury so he can go on his honeymoon. My prediction.
That's true.
Oh, that's a thought.
That's true too, but he does need the belt. When he gets back, they need to give him the belt.
Yeah.
How much sooner is his honeymoon?
I don't know, he can take as much time as he wants. Have you seen his wife?
Of course.
I take that time too.
There you go. There you go.
His wife kind of looks like John Cena's wife or girlfriend.
Yeah, one of them's only slightly larger.
Speaking of Cena versus Del Rio, yeah, I guess they'll keep the belt around Cena because
he's John Cena.
He's John Cena and
eats them fruity pebbles.
He eats them fruity pebbles and he needs to have a belt around, a shiny gold belt around his waist.
Yeah.
Because he's John Cena, and that way the fans can pop when he comes out and say, "Hey, the champ is here."
The champ is here.
The world champ is here.
Yeah.
Right, the world champ now.
Whoop-de-doo. I mean,
why?
You know. Yeah.
I don't. You know, I'm really not. I'm not in the Cena bashing crowd. I know you guys. He's John Cena.
I mean, you know, he's respectable enough. I
mean, it's almost as bad as The Rock being on the video game.
That I don't care for. That I don't care for. They, you know, I think they should have put out multiple covers of that. You can choose which one you wanted.
Which one you want? It's just The Rock, and that's it. The Rock, he's probably still in Eastern Europe.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard.
Or something, or whatever.
Did he wrap up Hercules?
Maybe he's in Turkish prison, and he won't make it back in time for WrestleMania.
I don't know. Did they finish filming that?
I'm not sure.
He's in another movie with Jason Statham. And Jason Statham is the star.
Oh, top billed. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. Jason Statham's great.
And The Rock has to take number 2? Wow. Amazing.
Oh, I'm sure his payday was very good.
Mm-hmm. It always is if you're The Rock, of course.
Now, do you think, you know, you mentioned the stock earlier. You think Dixie Carter bought any of that stock?
I wonder. One other thing while we have a minute and a half or so, WrestleMania kickoff party this Friday outside the Superdome in New Orleans. Tickets go on sale Saturday. They're getting some of the injured guys like Mysterio, Henry, Sheamus to go out there for the party. The Divas, Caitlyn, Alicia Fox. Legends like Mick Foley, Booker T, and Jimmy Hart will be there. Tickets go on sale Saturday for WrestleMania.
Jimmy Hart.
They have Jimmy Hart out there plugging for
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because he's a longtime Hogan Confederate, you know, confidant.
One word before we wrap up.
Yes.
Thoughts on a possible Goldberg-Ryback match at WrestleMania 30?
Not going to happen.
Don't believe so. Ryback versus Undertaker.
And they want Ryback to be in the street.
I say no. I don't think it'll happen.
Goldberg won't do it.
Goldberg don't like the WWE stuff.
Goldberg won't do it.
He won't be around.
I might be wrong. You asked for my prediction. My prediction, Goldberg won't do it.
But for now, I'm Hollywood J. Williams. Nice to see you guys. If I don't see you next week, good night and good luck.
Next week, Mario Mancini.
Good night, everyone. Remember, Wednesday night, Talking with Tom.